Hi guys. Wow, this is really a reunion. Long time no see. I've I've been I'm going through so much changes and transformations and mutations in my life that I can't even begin to describe. But so many voices and strings are pulling me back to you and lots of invitations and lots of understanding that I want to come back and share what I have to share with you. And in English, I mean, with you is my English listeners. And this is really interesting. I didn't even notice, but this morning I realized that gate 31 is entering the sun, and that means that it's exactly halfway of the wheel since the Rave New Year presentation, which I did when the 41st gate is in the sun in the end of January. And I listened to my forecast, my neutrino forecast for the Rave New Year, and I was really shocked because things that I said there really happened in my life, and also I can understand. I mean, I was talking in the beginning of the Rave New Year video. I was talking about the meaning of the cycles and everything, and really it's all about timing and ripeness and everything. And so it's amazing. I didn't even recognize it before this morning that this is really the timing that I record this video. And it's interesting because I have some weird relationship with gate 31. I don't really like it. Now, I don't have a reasonable reason not to like it, but there is something about this gate that I don't connect with. So that's why I even did a deeper job this time and looked into two charts that this gate is in the cross. So we will have a glimpse into two interesting people in the end of this video. So let's get to work and see this week of unexpected leadership that begins when we look at the GMT time. This will be in the 24th of July, nearly close to midnight, and in Israeli time this is early in the morning in the 25th, and everybody can check their time. So the sun comes into the gate of leadership influence, yes, and this is part of the channel of Alpha, a design of leadership for good and bad. And this is really an unexpected leadership, as Ra says, and this is, two gates, the 31st gate, the gate of influence, and the 41st gate, the gate of decrease, the gate of fantasy. They are part of the cross of the unexpected. So it's on the one hand, you look at this gate and you think, wow, leadership and alpha and all this, but this is unexpected leadership. You never know what's happening. And really, it's all about being elected or being invited to influence and to lead out of the friction that's around. And it's interesting because we have these two gates in the nodes for a long time. And yesterday I was inquiring this thing about the nodes, and I was really shocked again. How surprising. I looked at what's happening to me in the last few months, that these gates are in the nodes, and I could really see this friction that needs to bring the leadership in me, and this also relates to the Rave New Year predictions, and also the 41st gate, the gate of decrease, the gate of fantasy. It's about It's about the resources that there is a situation of decrease that pushes us into maximizing the potential for development. And it really happens in my life. I mean, it's unbelievable how this shows itself. And I don't want to get into it now, but I just give you the idea to ponder of the combination between my personal nodes in my chart with the nodes of the transits. This is really interesting. And I can also, of course, put into it the nodes of the solar return and the nodes of my chiral return, and the whole thing really works. It's really beautiful. We are the program, and the program is us. So this is really, really beautiful. So this neutrino week is going to be very interesting with this Sun-Earth, with these two very powerful gates in the Sun-Earth and the node. So I want to look at it. And all of this goes with the mental definition, the logic channel, yes, the channel of logic, part of the understanding stream of the logical collective circuit. And it's interesting because we also have Venus in the gate of confusion. So we have this logic way of thinking plus this confusion. And lately I look deeply into the 64th gate. I have both my Plutos in this gate, and it's also, of course, the whole channel of abstract is defined in me. And I look at it, and it really, I see more and more the gift or the city. I just don't remember what it is. By Richard Rudd, but one of them, the gift of the city, is the imagination. And I really see, and I really want to put the emphasis not only on the confusion, but also on the imagination that this gate brings, and this abstract visual imagination we will see soon in these two charts that we'll look at, how amazingly they work. And of course, that this mental definition or mental activation, the 64th gate, resonates deeply with the 41st gate, which is the gate of fantasy and the beginning codon of the human experiential way. And it is the same collective sensing circuit. So everything about this imagination, these fantasies, the need and the desire, yes, the desire to experience new things. This is really beautiful, and we'll see how it all goes together. And with it is this logical influence of this unexpected leadership. Really interesting week. Let's look at some details. We have, so this is what I talked about this mental definitions, mental influence, because if we have the 31st gate so strongly activated, because the sun and the north node, but the sun is very important, then all these mental activations and the mental aroma that has to everything will be in the direction of influence, of verbal influence to get out this mental activities. It's interesting to see, and we can really watch, and we have the fourth gate, the gate of formalization. This is the gate that gives the answers, yes, to Neptune's doubt, is in Mercury. So it's going to be verbalized, all these formulas, logical, influential formulas. And then after a few hours, Venus leaves the gate of confusion and imagination and gets to the gate of oppression and realizations and understandings, and all these beautiful sparks that combine all the imaginary video parts together and get some kind of abstract conclusion about the past. So this is also going to be very influential. Okay, in the 26th, 10 GMT, Saturn is going back. It's in retrograde, and it goes back to, it goes back to the 10th gate. It's the role model and in detriment, and it's interesting that we have this logical influence in the sun with this gate of behavior in the role model, which is a leader, but this is the detriment, you know, the one that doesn't really follow what that it's their words and actions do not match. So it's interesting with the gate, with the line of arrogance. It begins with the line of arrogance in the sun. This is, you know, these are details that only when you are aware of, you can just see how they display themselves. And I'm watching all the time. I watch it all the time. It's so beautiful. The more I surrender to the fact that there is no choice in the realm of the program. We have choice in other realms, but not in the mechanical realm. And the mechanical realm is the ruler. I mean, we can, and I again and again, and I will never stop, use the line, the phrase of the 60th gate, you know, the gate of limitation, which is also called acceptance. The acceptance of the limitation is the first step to transcendence. Now, this is very important because we are here to transcend beyond our design, but not in the mechanical way. I can't really put it in words, but this is what I've noticed. We can expand because we are multidimensional creatures, and the design is only the dimension, the mechanic, okay? The mechanics of the Maya is only the dimension here in the Maya. But we need to, or we have no choice. We are helpless and incompetent when it comes to playing on that plane. In other realms, we have other ways there are other mechanics that can contradict this mechanic, but we can't, I mean, they are all together, they are simultaneously work. I mean, I hope my English is okay. I need to brush it up. I haven't met you for a long time, but I hope you got it, and I invite you to ponder about it. Okay, now the moon will enter the gate of the pressure to know the unknown, the gate of mystery, the underlying principles, yes, in the 26th, in the 1555 GMT. And for 10 hours, we are going to have a very interesting mind because we have the channel of logic, this pressure to know the unknown and the unknowable that can really, you know, take us to places which are really kind of insane, and the gate of oppression. Now, if we take this mind seriously, and especially all these people with an open head or an totally open mind, these people can really, I mean, it can be very inspirational and beautiful, but it can also be oppressive. It can also be, you know, really very pressuring. So I really invite you to remember that this is only the mind, and the mind doesn't run our lives. It does inspire when it inspires, but it also can really drive us crazy and mad, and we really need to be careful about it. So that's why we have our strategies and authorities to know which inspiration is really relevant for us now. And in the 27th, when the sun and the earth will be in the third line, happens something very interesting. We have the 41st gate, the gate of fantasy, in the earth, in the moon. It gets into, it enters the moon on the 27th at 1450 GMT. We have it in the earth, of course, in the south node, and in the moon and in Mars. I mean, the fantasy is really, really strong. And if we have this pressure to begin new experiential, new emotional experiential ways, something we have a lot of desire to start this. And I feel it a lot these days. And now I understand that it's just going to grow stronger and stronger. And we have this very active mind and the gate of influence in the sun. So this is really interesting. And of course, all the people with an open root, open solar plexus that connect to this is very strong. So just, this energy comes because we have to experience it and it can serve us. But this is a very strong pressure that can take us places that maybe we don't need to go. So we really, really need to be attentive to how things come to us, if they come through strategy and authority and so on. You know my mantras. And in 29, we are going to experience the moon at the 30th gate. So we are going to have 1, 2, 3 times the 41st gate, the gate of fantasy, that will define itself to the 30th gate, the gate of the clinging fire. Yes, that they together form the channel of recognition, which is the channel that really has so much desire in it and so want to go through a very, very strong emotionally experience. Yes, it's the first channel of the 2 channels of the human experiential way. And because that makes that this definition is a global conditioning pattern, it also leads up the Marrying Maiden in Pluto. So there's a lot of pressure, also pressure to be recognized, to the ambition, yes, the ambitious adrenaline and the desire, yes, the adrenaline of desire. And this is all with a mental, mental definition, with the gate of oppression as a spice for it. Interesting. We are going to have interesting week, a very interesting week. And I promised you 2 charts, 2 glimpses, peep show into worlds and words of fantasy. 2 authors, interesting authors. The first is J.K. Rowling, that brought us the imaginary, beautiful, amazing Harry Potter series. And she is 31st gate in the sun. She is her lines in the sun, in the conscious sun. Earth is application and contagion. Sorry, and she's a 6-3, which is interesting. And she has a very interesting design. She's of course a splenic ego manifester, and we can see something very interesting. She has 8 mental definitions. 4 of them is the 64th gate, the gate of imagination. Yes, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's this year that I think 2 or 3 years, I think it was the 1964 or 1965. I don't remember the exact time she was born, but that was this 1 or 2 years or 3 years. No, I think she's even my age because of the 64th in Pluto. Yeah, it's interesting. The 64th in Pluto is my age, is 1963. But also she has more and more mental definitions. These 4 times of the gate of imagination is really interesting. The moon, 2 Plutos, and the conscious Uranus, and she has others, of course. And it's in an open head and ajna. Very interesting. So much inspiration goes there, and it's beautiful to see her twice, 2 times the 40th gate. No, 3 times 40th gate. She was the provider. She started writing in order to provide for her children. She's a single mom. Very interesting channel of money. Yes, the whole drive. Yes, to express herself. Yes, with the first gate also. Yeah. She needed to express herself in order to provide, or that was one of the mechanical reasons. Very interesting. Also, I'm looking at, of course, the gate of desire. Yes, the gate of desire that combines, or let's say looks, begins the human experiential way and ends in the 35th gate that she has twice in her notes. That's really put a lot of pressure on these human experiential ways when she is clueless, emotionally undefined. I mean, this totally open solar plexus that, by the way, I want to share with you that I have many people in my life with this configuration of totally open solar plexus, and I really got to understand this thing deeply, and I would like one day to share this with you. So if you know people that are like this, or you are like this, and you have all these misunderstandings with society and all these so-called autistics aspects, not formal autistics, but this autistic aroma. So I think I will find a way to share this information with you. If you have questions about it, or you have something that you want to share with me, I would love to hear it. So she's totally open, and these 2 gates of the human experiential way pressure on this totally open solar plexus that wants to experience everything and fly high on this Nimbus 2000 model of her transportation. And really, I mean, she really flew on these waves and wings of imagination in a very intuitive, splenic way. I mean, really beautiful design. And of course, if we talk about this gate of influence in the sun, yeah, she was influential. And the other way around is when the 41st gate, the gate of fantasy, is in the sun, and the gate of influence is in the earth. This is Lewis Carroll. Both crosses, they are left angle crosses of the alpha. And yes, they are leaders in their worlds, yes, and with their words. Very interesting. Lewis Carroll is an idol of mine. You know that I'm totally connected to this rabbit hole stuff. And he has 9 mental activations. Amazing. Look at his mind, defined mind with 9 mental activations. This individual, unbelievable acoustic mind with all kind of spices from the abstract and from the logic circuits. He's a triple split, and we can see that his G is totally defined. He's a projector, of course. His identity is totally defined in a very strong way, both both channels are leadership channels, the channel of the alpha, of course, and also the channel of the prodigal. And he really he really talks as this prodigal. He's been everywhere. I mean, it's in his imagination, but his imagination took him to places all over, and the beautiful, amazing sharing. Wow, I just adore the way he wrote. And of course, he had this channel of recognition, that the pressure to go through another emotional experience. Yes, with the 19th gate, also a pressure to all these connectivity. I mean, Alice, it's true that she is more collective and individual than tribal, but she was looking for for a community there. Oh, this is my imagination already. Interesting chart, very, very interesting chart. His channel of the alpha is made out of his cross and nodes, and also the channel of the prodigal is nodes. I mean, this is really strong because he's very defined, and also most of the activations are in defined centers. We only have 4 unconscious gates in the open spleen. Oh, sorry, and one conscious gate in the sacral. Yes, a very important one, the 34. But his moon, yes, his conscious moon. But it's interesting because most of his gates are activated in defined centers. That shows that he had a very strong personality and very strong the stage of his life. I mean, he's defined in almost three parts of his cross, 3 gates of his cross, and the 4 gates of his nodes are in defined centers. That means that he was grounded. He had this strong, how do you say it? He stood on the ground, yes, and interesting. Very interesting. I mean, he was flying high in his mind, but I don't know how to say it in English, but he was very himself. Yes, interesting. So these 2 gates that we experience, and we experience them in the nodes for a long time, we are going to experience them very strongly this week, and we can, we are going to dive with this 41st gate to the rabbit hole. Now, I want to share with you another fantasy or another new experiential thing that I'm going to do. I was invited, and I'm going to jump into this new experience and see what's happened. Inspired by all this pressure to try new things. So on the 10th of August, I will be live in the internet. I haven't decided yet if it's going to be on Facebook or on YouTube, but I will let you know before. And on the 10th of August, it's Friday, 15 GMT, I will be live, and I invite you to send me questions and stuff that you would want me to talk about. I have some things that I want to share, but I'm open. I mean, this is a tea party, and I'm open to your questions and your stimulations. you can send me, I'm emotional and I can't really, I can't react in the moment to everything. So I invite you to write me to my email. This is my email, Gaya, lyd@hotmail.com. You can write me questions and things that you would like me to speak about. And I will choose whatever will resonate for that time, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. This is a beginning. This is something that I want to do, something that I want to experience. And with your help, it might really be amazing. It really can be a great tea party. So if you're interested in meeting me live and asking me questions that I will answer and talk about in this little meeting, so you're invited warmly to send. And until then, please keep on following your strategy and authority and have a very influential and experiential week, an unexpected week. And we will meet online. Bye-bye. See you. And it's really great to come back.